episode 7 of my Sorare journey, and it might be a slightly longer episode this week just because I want to go through some things, give some tips that I've found helpful, and I hope you find them useful too. Firstly, we can just see that they've signed the French national team and the German national team to Sorare. I think it's great news for everyone. It's just better cards, should attract more players. Overall, really positive, and I'm happy about it. How I performed this week. So at the moment, I just entered one team into Global D4. I was just looking to hit the E thresholds, and as you can see, everyone performed well, and I got 290. You only need 250, so that's a win. I'll get 0.02 ETH. On to next week, the team I'm putting out. I'm putting two teams out. Firstly, obviously, just into my Global D4 team. Again, just trying to hit the E thresholds. That's all I want. But the team I've been building for over a month is an Asian Champions League team. So you can see here it's very K-League centered. But the reason for that is I think they'll have a really good run in the competition. I think they should kind of walk over a lot of teams and therefore put up big scores. But that does get me into my first tip. And my first tip is to actually look at the averages of players. Of course, everyone looks at them, but to actually put them down on paper and say, okay, this is his average, this is his price, and see if you can improve your team whilst maybe reducing price or not increasing costs as much as it would cost to get, say, a big gun. So overall, if everyone was to perform to their average, I'd expect to score 274, and that's not a score to be laughed at. That could definitely win you a reward. Even better than that is the fact that I've picked them up for all good value. So when building, because I had so long to build it, I was doing it ahead of time. I wanted everyone at a good price. So by the time the tournament hits, they've all gone up in value, or at least a minimum maintained their value. And I've managed to do that. I did run into two issues. I'll just show you quickly in my club that I've got two more awesome players that aren't going to play because they got into the Olympic squad. So Shu Young Woo and the guy I've had for ages, Wondu J. They both were going to play for me, and then they got put in the Olympic squad and won't play. So it's just, you've got to overcome and adapt to some bad news at the same time. It's not all plain sailing, especially in Global Asia D4. But that leads me on to my next tip. And, the next tip is if you see a good deal, don't be a cheapskate, just buy it. Because I fell for this. I wanted Kang Sang-woo with a 63 average, and the price I was getting them at was 0.1. You can see that would increase the average score by 12 in my team, and the price it would only increase by 0.7. And why didn't I get him? What happened is he was there for 0.1, and I thought, do you know what? He hasn't sold for ages. There's another one up behind it. If he goes for, let's say, 5% off, I'll take that. So I offered him that. I think then the other one got sold, which was either slightly more expensive or got taken off the market. And then the guy saw my offer, rejected it, and put the price up. And then what happened? I got stubborn. I said, no, I'm not going to pay a higher price when I could have got it for lower. And now he's almost double that price. Sometimes the market is wrong. And if you spot that, don't waste time. Just go in, buy the card, hold on to it, and in time it'll correct itself. So that's my next tip. My third tip is to not get caught up too much in SO5. And that might be weird to people because, the whole point of the game is to play fantasy football and to play SO5. But for me, it's not. I'm trying to make money here. My whole strategy is capital appreciation. So I had Firmino, Renan Lodi, and Alexandro because Brazil, were expected to have a deep run in the Copa America. I actually sold all of them the week before because, I just saw their prices were so high that I actually thought I'd make more money from selling than I would, playing the game. So currently I have 0.36 ETH. He's now below that, and this isn't me saying, I predicted that, he'd have a bad Copa America or he wasn't going to play. It's the fact that when you're on a small budget and you can only put out one or two teams that can compete, that it's so hard to have all your players, and it requires a lot of luck to perform on the same day and then actually win some, good prizes. So don't be afraid to take, appreciation of just a player before they've even started the tournament. And I think a lot of people just get, caught up in trying to win SO5 because, it's definitely the most fun, and, rewards opening them, the surprise of it, the thrill, couldn't be better. But it's not the be all end all. You can work towards a longer project where you can have teams out in every division, across every league. And then you don't need that much luck because, probability will have it that one of them will hit. So That's what I say. You see a lot of big accounts putting out loads of teams and they're always hitting. And it's because of that reason. So when you're small, try and just build up a gallery. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And also, sometimes you need to play the market. I've had times where I've bought bundles, I've bought super rares and, flipped them. And I've been asked about this, whether I do it with the national team of Germany just coming out. Because, a lot of their cards are new onto the market. Let's take Rudiger, for example. So only 17 of him. Chelsea aren't signed. So, he's brand new. People want him. He scores quite well. But, this isn't a player I'd look to flip because, firstly, they've just released 17 of them in like 2 or 3 days. So if I was going to buy him, and if anyone else was going to buy him, you're going to wait for an auction to come up. Why would you, pay an additional, I call it a convenience fee to buy it now? There's just no point. And then following that, Sorare want to get as many of these cards out before the start of the next season, and they start minting new cards. So in a couple of months, they will be looking to be releasing about 100 cards, probably a little less, but still, that's going to put so much downward pressure on the price that I would not get involved in that. One that I would get involved in is the MLS, because once these Euros are over and people realise they haven't got enough players to build into an MLS team, they're going to look at some of the best players. And, I picked up Raul Ruiz. That's horrible, but whatever. I picked him up because, they listed like 8 of them on the market on the same day. And I thought, that's a lot of downward pressure. As soon as he's gone, they have to split these cards across until I think it's the end of December when the MLS ends. And then the new season won't start until March. So that's a long time period to get 100 cards out. You're going to have to go a lot slower. And in the meantime, I can play him. So, it's just being smart with the market. If you have a thought, that you think might work, test it out. If it works, rinse and repeat. And don't get bogged down in putting out, SO5 lineups for the sake of it. Obviously, maybe do that to grind ETH. I think that's a great way to do it whilst we still can. Anyway, I hope you found these tips useful, and I'll see you for the next episode.